everybody, and today we're here with another board game review. Today we'll be reviewing not time stories in general, but the time stories expansion packs, you can say.
Assalamu alaikum everyone. Today we'll be telling you that why you should play all the expansion packs of Time Stories. We have already done the review for Time Stories, so if you have not checked that before, I will put a link in the description below. So this is going to be a spoiler-free review of the expansion for Time Stories. And instead of, because we cannot go into spoilers, so we cannot reveal much of the story or the elements of the game. So that's why this one review is going to cover all the 8 expansions of the first series of expansions, which were called the White Cycle of the game. So let's start in the chronological order, but at the end, what we are also going to do, for which we have not prepared, we are going to do a live ranking of our favorite to least favorite game expansion pack, just in case you're interested in that. So let's start with the review with the first one, which was the Marcy case. So in the Marcy case, the theme was that a town has been Rhinefield was the town's name, which has been just filled with zombies, and you have to go and save someone who is called Marcy. She's important for the future. Other than that, we don't know what's her importance, which we might find out later on. But we have to save her, but we don't know much information about her, only few things. And there are many girls in this city who match that description. So we have to find out and figure out who the real Marcy is and then bring her back in this story. So Ishal, what did you think of this expansion?
It was really nice. Unfortunately, my memory is not that good considering the fact that we played this like last year.
Yeah, long back.
Long back, we completely not, but it was a good game.
Yeah, so this one will be action heavy because it's zombie themed. So there will be a lot of monsters, a lot of weapon collection that you will get to do.
How do you hold it on?
Yeah, like this. So if you're a fan of those kind of tests of action, then this one is going to be for that. That's Marcy case. Next come Prophecy of Dragons. Now, this one was set in an alternate timeline where you are sent into a magical Dungeons and Dragon kind of theme world. And the unique thing about this expansion was that instead of being in a normal world, you will be, well, playing something like Dungeons and Dragon where you are going to the shop, collecting or buying different kind of weapons, magical potions, things like that, meeting fairy or fantastical creatures, and then trying to figure out that what's happening because the dragons are threatening a world on the brink. But your mission is that one of the kings has been taken over mentally, has been taken over by another alien race which gets introduced, which are called the Scions, which get introduced that they have been taken over and we need to free his mind. So that's our mission in the Prophecy of Dragons, a more fantasy-based theme game as compared to any other expansion that we got in this one. The other unique thing that we got to face in this Prophecy of Dragon was that in Prophecy of Dragon was the first one in which we actually got to experience that there is more to Time Stories lore
than I seen.
The universe, because
Backstory.
it had some cards which are related to the future missions as well. You will see glimpses of Under the Mask, Endurance, some from Spain, from Lumen, Fidei, that these are the events that are going to happen, and there is an overarching story. There are other creatures who can control time other than us as well, or not control, can travel through time, and there is an overarching story which is going to link all of this up. So that's why it was a very crucial one in this timeline.
You have to buy this.
So Ishal, what did you think about the Prophecy
I
of Dragons?
especially love this, but I guess that's mainly because the art style, it's so colorful, it's so pretty, and I love magic. but also the playing. It's just wonderful.
All right. So that
Like the
was
story in this game, and also the overarching story.
so under the mask. We have played this slightly out of sequence because I was unable to find it in the market. But anyway, this was the third expansion that came out. So, and this in this one, you are in the normal timeline. The Pharaoh's mask, King Tut's mask, has been stolen, which is yeah, one of the pharaohs. So he was. We have in reality his mask, the famous pharaoh's mask, is there, but in this timeline somebody stole it, and we cannot let the timeline be changed. We don't know what anomaly can be created by that, and that's why we have to travel back in time and try to find the culprit who stole it and return that mask before people notice it, before it is found, so that it can be again found in the future. And that's the objective of this one.
Sometimes I get confused.
The unique element in this mission was that in this one, actually, you can change your receptacle, which is the characters that you can control on the fly. So there is a wasp, a mechanical wasp in this one, which can be used. You have certain tokens of those which can be used to actually transfer your brain from one character to another character, and then you can start controlling that character instead of this one. So this was unique in that sense that you are not controlling the same character, so your abilities and the locations that are accessible to you become changed based on which character you're controlling, and that was really unique. So Isha, what did you think about Under the Mask?
Again, very nice game. I actually I just realized you put these games sideways.
Doesn't matter. Tell.
Anyways, it again was a really nice game, and it actually has sort of, I would say, a reference to one of the future games.
All right. The next one is Expedition Endurance. Now, this one takes the theme of, well, in this one again, the ending is, I love those games where they take something from reality and then change a little bit in that.
Yes.
Under the Mask was something like that. We will not reveal what happens in the
You
end.
have to play until the end. It is amazing.
Same thing was with Expedition Endurance. This is based on a realistic scenario that happened. Well, not scenario, an event that happened that a ship got lost, which was the Endurance, got lost in the Antarctica, going through the Atlantic Ocean. And we are the ones who are sent to explore that what really happened over there. But what slowly will get transcribed through this one is where the fiction element comes in, is that we start experiencing some kind of horrified Arkham Cthulhu mythos in this one as well. But we will not reveal more than that. So it's slightly more horrifying, slightly more mysterious as the time goes. The unique element was, of course, that you get to travel in two different timelines in the same one. So first, when you get to travel, you actually get travel 2 days after everyone has been killed. So you get to experience what happened afterwards. And then you get to travel 2 days back to see how the ship looked like 2 days before. And now you will try to remember, oh, this was like this at that time. But now it is like this. So who might have done this? And you will try to think about all the crewmates that are on the ship and try to link the stories in that sense. So that's Expedition Endurance. Vishal, what did you think about this expansion?
Well, I would say it's not my favorite. I certainly did not have much fun as the others, but it was a good game in terms of storytelling, and the fact that it was real makes it even more fun.
Alright, then comes Estrella Drive. Now, Estrella Drive is set in 1982. Just like Expedition Endurance had two kind of timelines, but of the same one, this takes a hint of that, but takes it to the extreme, where you start in a timeline which is kind of modern, and then these people, what you experience is that these are some of the people here are the survivors of a previous incident where a mass murder had happened in one of the homes. And this is based on, again, a realistic event that happened in Hollywood. So, what you have to do is these people go through a seance and they travel back in time before that event happens. And they are trying to actually save themselves or save one of the main characters that died in that incident. And that's the intention, that if they can save. But our objective is that the timeline must continue as such, as well as do some other things. So that was a stellar drive. This is more mature themed. There will be more blood and gore and drugs
So I
usage
was
in
not
this one.
allowed to play all of it.
Yeah. So that's Estrella Drive. The bad thing about this one, it's not linked with any of the other stories. It doesn't continue the overarching story. It was released as an independent one. Maybe they knew that since they were releasing, maybe it was an experiment. They were releasing it as a mature audience only expansion. So they wanted to maybe see first that would it fly. They didn't want to link its story with the overall arcing story. And I think that was the right move because, yeah, you can easily skip this one out because, in my opinion, this was the weakest of all the time story games. Um, some elements, some puzzles were good, but overall, like when the killers actually enter the building, then there is a darkness phase that you have to enter. That was a unique element in the game. But the way that you travel through two different timelines was a unique element in the game. But otherwise, it was still not much of a nice theme, as well as just an okay expansion in my opinion. So you can easily skip this one out.
Now, Lumen Fidei. Why did I tap it like that?
Let's go to 1419 Spain in Lumen Fidei. Now this one is set in Spain during the when the Muslims were in control of Spain, and there is a power struggle going on in Spain at that time. The Catholics want to actually come back in Spain,
The
but at that
Kairos.
time also, what this picks up the theme is that there is a mysterious stone that has been found there, and everyone, all the groups there are trying to actually get hold of this one. And this expansion is, I will say, one of the most important ones in the whole series because this one is going to reveal a lot of information about the overarching story. You will, for the first time, experience the actual main bad guys of the whole series in this one itself as well. You will get to see all the factions at play. You will get to even decide which faction you want to side. So there can be three different endings that you get to do. You can be with the good guys, you can be with the neutral party, or you can be with the bad guys. I will not name any of them because you need to experience that on your own, that who are those three parties, and make the decisions by yourself that based on the data that has been provided or you have explored, who is who and who actually should be getting this stone of power which can give, well, the promised unlimited power to someone. And that was Lumen Fidei. Gameplay wise, again, there were many action elements in this one as well, plus the exploration, the adventure in the old Spain was kind of nice. Now comes
Brotherhood of the Coast.
Brotherhood of the Coast, one of the more adventurous expansion packs, where you are being or traveling through the Caribbean islands
Basically,
as
being
pirates.
Yes, I was about to say that.
Well, we don't start as pirates. Actually, we are hunting for few pirates. We start as slaves. The unique element of this one was that there are some time agents. The story revolves around some of the other time agents who have went back to Caribbean but have decided not to come back to time agency and want to remain there. And we have to explore that why that has happened and bring them back before they create more anomalies because they are aware of the future. We cannot let time agents be stuck in existing timelines. So we have to bring them back. The other unique thing, or the gameplay wise, what's going to be unique is that in this one, There are different islands that you get to explore. There is a whole sea that you get to explore. So you will get the feeling of an actual pirate, like you are going from place to place, you are upgrading your ship. You can buy even new ships because the good receptacles have already been taken by the other pirates. So you are left with some kind of slaves who are given the authority or being transferred to them, but now they have a very poor kind of ship. So slowly you have to upgrade or change or buy new ships and slowly upgrade to a
Those are
better ship.
expensive.
Yeah, to expensive ship. You need to do battles of, there will be ship battles, there will be pirate fights, there will be different islands, and there are actual kind of themes that used to exist in the pirate world that you will get to experience, like how they were being given pardons at that time near the end of pirate age. They were being given pardons to actually come and work on plantations instead, and that kind of stories explode in this one as well, that you will be experiencing that era. So gameplay wise, it was a really fascinating one, as well as story. Just like Lumen Fidei, this is the second heaviest one, which is going to concentrate on the story as well as
One, of course.
showing all the factions and progress the overarching story of the game. So yes, it will be highly recommended one.
And then the last one, Madame. I think that's how you say it.
Yeah. So Madame is set in France, and there are going to be some very unique things in Madame. Now, before I tell about something about Madame, you have to understand that this one gets a lot of negative press on the internet, and I think that is totally unfair. Because in my opinion, gameplay wise, this was a fantastic expansion. I really love the mechanisms in this one. So the story is something that you have been sent back to France, and you have to get now imprints, the temporal imprints of famous people including King Louis. Why you're getting imprints of these guys? That something similar to Under the Mask, where you can control people. In this one, as long as you have imprints of objects or people, then you can, in the next one, not immediately. In Under the Mask, you could immediately transfer your consciousness to the next person. In here, on the next one, you can select a different receptacle and control them. And majority of the character, unlike Under the Mask, here majority of the characters you can take control. So that's really a powerful thing. In this one, the runs, the time loops that you get to do were really short, because there is some problem happening, and we will not reveal what problem was happening at the time agency itself, but there is some problem happening in the time agency, because of which your time loops are very short, and you need small time loops.
Like 5
because
seconds, maybe? 5
because
seconds.
you need to go there, maybe explore one location or two locations, get some imprints, change, and now go as a different person, progress the story, change, and then get to a different rank of person. Because based on different ranks of people, you
The
will
more
get have
areas you can enter.
yeah, because you need to reach up to King Louis. So the access to the king cannot be given to just any nilly-willy Jim, Tom, Dick, and Harry who comes along the road. So
Sir, I do not take history class.
so you need proper access or people to take imprints of, so that they can get access to the king. And that was really the fascinating part of the game, that you are taking small multiple 12 times. You might think that that's repetitive, but this game was actually least repetitive as compared to any other game, because whenever you are taking the shorter time loop, the objects and receptacles are not being reset immediately, and you can reuse them. So you can now, and now since you have a better receptacle or higher ranking receptacle, you can directly go to, for example, the court of the king, rather than starting from outside somewhere in the forest. And that's how you can immediately progress further, rather than repeating something which was an element in all the previous expansion. So this one has the least amount of repetition that you get to experience. Plus, there is a mystery that why you are here, because there is no known anomaly that exists in this timeline.
Let me explain. Anyway, so there is a known anomaly, and I must say,
You cannot tell.
yeah, I'm not gonna tell, but this is, out of these, probably the most unique ones. And I'm not gonna spoil why, but this is a must have, as it is basically a blank. I'm sure Baba knows what.
Yeah, it's a conclusion of the whole first cycle. So you need to know what happened in this one if you're following all the story. If you don't take it, then you're just missing out the best moments of concluding this story. And I think that's where the negative press, because people didn't follow. It's not an easy story to follow for time stories, and that's why you will have to see the video that I'm going to post tomorrow. If you're watching this video maybe sometime in the future, then that video has already been posted explaining the complete timeline of the time stories. It's called Time Stories Explained. So you can watch that video to understand what the time, and that's a spoiler filled time where I will explain all the spoilers in each of these expansions as well as the base game.
Not really this one though. It's unimportant.
Yeah, so but if you want to understand the time story as well as how important the conclusion, because people didn't really understand the conclusion of Madame, but it's because you have to understand the story what was happening before. If you didn't follow it, plus follow the story on the website as well, if you don't follow it, then this will make less sense. But if you do follow it, then it is a fantastic expansion. So that tells you all of our opinions, spoiler free opinions about and the themes in which these expansions are set. So hopefully this gives you an idea that which themes might be better for you. And if you are interested in, well, the overarching story, then excluding this, you need to get all of the other 7 expansions. Otherwise, try one, try two. If you get hooked, if you get interested by the theme of some of these, then you can try others later on. And that is the better way of taking them. So now let's start the second part of the video. We are going to do now a live ranking of what do we think is our least favorite to the most favorite expansion. So let me start with my least favorite one, which was Estrella Drive, as you can think. Again, not a fan of the theme, not a fan of the artwork style that was in this one. It was too gritty for me. It was too
Very
on the
dull.
nose. So I was not a fan of Estrella
Like,
Drive.
it's okay to have dull colors, but I don't know. This one just no.
Alright, so this one was my least favorite. Isha, what do you think was the next one?
This is my least favorite. Probably let's say. My second least favorite is probably endurance.
I know. I will leave it here. So my vote will be for the Marcy case. Why the Marcy case? Why the Marcy case? Because so for Ishal it's endurance, but for me it will be Marcy case. For me, why I'm saying Marcy case, because this one has a lot of fighting, and you don't really get a sense of why you're saving the girl until this last expansion, or even actually after that. So you will never get to know why this was important, and that's why the problem of time stories is the skill check is purely luck based. So you will be throwing dice and seeing, oh, did I pass a fight or not? And that's all there is in the fight. This was a fight heavy game, and that's why there was more luck in this game than anything else. And that's why this is my second least favorite expansion of all. Then my third least favorite is going to be
Prophecy of Dragons.
Prophecy of Dragons.
Honestly, I'm afraid I have to agree with you. It's not my favorite because there
Well-
were definitely problems.
Well, the most lovable thing about time stories is when it is set in the real world, there are too many fantasy stories or games anyway. So from time stories, what I expect is pick a real life event and then create an anomaly there and pick a unique thing that this is happening and the timeline is
Like,
changing, and
what
then I
they did
need to
with
save
Under the
them.
Mask, it was gorgeous.
Yeah. So, and this one was set in a different timeline, so I don't even care. I don't even relate to the world it is there. Yes, it was important for the story to actually give us a glimpse of what's going to happen in the future. But when it comes to the actual world itself as an expansion itself, the world, I wasn't interested in the world because it wasn't set in the real world where I'm existing. So whatever happens in this one, oh well, Dragon came, ate the world, who cares? I'm not linked to this world. So that's why this was my third
Even though
least
sometimes I
favorite.
wish I could live in a magical world.
The next one is going to be Under the Mask.
Excuse me? Excuse me?
Yes, it is going to be Excuse You Under the Mask. Even though it had a very unique mechanism and the puzzles were nice as well, but again, I have to rank something somewhere. Okay, so it falls in the middle. So there are 8 expansions, this is a fourth one. I have to rank something somewhere.
Fine.
Alright? Ishal is not happy about it. So we will know Ishal will rank it where, but that's my ranking. The next one is going to be Lumen Fidei. At one point, I thought this was going to be my favorite one. But when I explored the other expansions, the charm of this one slightly reduced. And again, this review we are doing after so much time, I don't remember many of the puzzles that I did in this one, which means they were not as memorable, even though the story, the theme, the artwork, I remember those and they were lovely. But I really don't remember the puzzles that were offered in this one. Do you remember any unique puzzle we did?
No.
So that's the
My mind's
problem.
completely blank. I don't remember a single puzzle.
That's the problem in this one. That even though story-wise it was a nice one, the fight with Saul Kahula at the end at the hill, that was very interesting. But I don't really remember majority of the puzzles, and that's why I can say maybe it was not as memorable as the experience on that day that I had it, and that's why I will rank it as number whatever it is coming 4.
You forgot
So,
the numbers.
next one is going to be Expedition Endurance. Now, Ishal ranked it as her second least favorite. But for me, this one was beautiful. I love Cthulhu mythos, that's also part of it. But the puzzles in this one, how you have to solve the introduction of the stasis gel. Don't go outside the camera. The introduction of stasis gel, you didn't want to. One of the players will get something and he has to keep it secret from all others. Those kind of mysterious things were so fascinating in this one.
This game made my father crack up Cthulhu jokes that made me scared.
So for me, this was again a memorable experience, and it's still fresh in my memory, even though I played this long back before even Lumen died. But it's still there, so that means it
And was
was
this
one of
like
them.
the second game we played?
No, I think we played it after Prophecy of
The
Dragons.
third.
Yeah. Then comes the Brotherhood of the Coast, the pirate theme. Pirate theme, again, a theme that I love. And
He loves pirates.
but it was not just the love of the pirates. It can be a pirate theme, but a dull game. But in this one, you actually get to explore beautiful islands. The artwork was beautiful. The puzzles were unique. The different brothers
I really
that we
loved
have
the
to.
puzzle. I don't remember a majority of it, but it was something about rum. Like we had to manage a stand of rum and juices.
Yeah, and how you have to gather money to upgrade the ship, plus you have to find the brothers, and each of the brother motive to stay in that world is different. And you have to actually use each brother to reach other brother and capture them all. And that was a really fascinating idea which had not been explored in Time Stories before. So that's why it's my second favorite Time Stories expansion, which brings us to Madame, the most hated expansion of Time Stories on
But
the internet,
our most loved.
but our most loved because The gameplay was fun, the art was fun, the story was nice, the unique elements were good, and overall it gave us a very nice conclusion to the Time Stories White Cycle. And this is now our ranking of the Time Stories. So Ishal, if you had to switch Under the Mask with any of these, where would you put Under the Mask? Maybe swap these two?
Well, I would swap these two.
That's it?
Again, it's not my most favorite, but it's not my most hated.
Alright. So to Ishal and Expedition Endurance also back. So if you are going with Ishal's ranking, it would be something like this. That's right?
Mm-hmm.
Alright. So if we are going with Ishal's ranking, it will be something similar to this. Well, not much difference. So Lumen Fidei remains at the same place, but she likes Under the Mask more than Expedition Endurance.
Ghost is going to be my second favorite.
So this first, second, they remain in the same place. Maybe these remain in the same place. But overall, most of the things remain in the same place. So whether you go by my ranking or Ishal ranking. So hopefully that gives you an idea that where you should start. But of course, don't start with this one. This is your ending one. So if you want to try, I will say start with Under the Mask or Expedition Endurance, and if you like these two, then try others. So pick something from the middle so that your story is not ruined and you get to experience two entirely different games and enjoy a variety from Time Stories. Like them, and you want to invest then in the remaining Time Stories, then go in the proper chronological order, not in our favorite order, of course, so that you can experience the overall story as well and play these again, because then the overarching story will make more sense as well. So that's it from us. Hopefully this video was useful for you. Don't forget to subscribe and like. Happy gaming!
Happy gaming!